Greetings, everybody, and once again, welcome into the Barton Gymnasium on the campus of Barton Community College in Great Bend, Kansas. It's time for Hutchinson Community College women's basketball on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. This afternoon, this 5-0 and number 7 ranked Blue Dragons take on the Jefferson College Vikings out of Hillsboro, Missouri on the final day of the Cougar Booster Club Classic from Great Bend. Steve Carpenter with you on a very nice Saturday afternoon. I'll be joined momentarily by Darren Dunn. Yesterday, the Blue Dragons, a bit of a rough start, but a nice finish as Hutchinson turned around an early 5-point deficit and turned it into a 64-49 win over what will be a very good Labette team in Division II. Yesterday, Michaela Van Nett tied a career high with 6 3-pointers and scored a career high 22 points. Nafa Idra came off the bench with the bigs in trouble, and I'm referring to Brooklyn Betham and Abby Ogle. Nafa came off the bench to get 12 points and 7 rebounds, and the Blue Dragons hit a season-high 9 3-pointers. Jefferson College last night played Barton Community College here in the land of the Cougar and lost a 76-71 overtime game. Led 30-23 at halftime, trailed by 1 at 3 quarters, and then had a miserable time shooting in overtime, hitting just 2 of 11 shots. So that brings us to today. The Blue Dragons will be trying to go 6-0 for the 9th time under head coach John Onches. And I bring in my broadcast partner and good friend Darren Dunn. And your thoughts heading into this one?
Well, I think you see a little bit of some deception from the Jefferson College Vikings, at least coming into this tournament. 4-0, undefeated on the season, but you look at the body of work for Jefferson College. They beat a Division II team. What they did essentially was beat a lot of one-win teams. So the first 4 teams on that schedule for the Vikings, a collected 4-12. So a bunch of one-win teams. You got a better look at what Jefferson College is putting out on the floor yesterday. Had that lead, as you mentioned, at halftime against Barton. Barton comes back, wins it in overtime. The one thing Jefferson College is missing, though, is a pretty big piece in Mathis, the 5'10" sophomore out of St. Louis, Missouri. That's 18 points per game that the Vikings lose coming into this tournament, and might have made a big difference yesterday and would have made a difference today.
The Blue Dragons yesterday got a big piece back in Michaela Van Nett. Of course, mentioned she hit a career-high tying 6 3-pointers and a career-high 22 points in that victory over Labette. So the Blue Dragons yesterday had some problems with the speed of the backcourt. They adjusted to it, did just fine. Just looking at the numbers and how they're bearing out, Darren, I think the bigs are kind of under the Blue Dragon bigs are under the target today, because it looks like Jefferson is an inside-dominated team.
Well, and you really haven't. You think back to a lot of these teams. You go back to Kalani Purcell, who was such a great presence in the post for John Onches and the Blue Dragons. She was 6'2". Now you have a couple of people that go 6'3", 6'5", that are really making a difference in Brooklyn Betham and Nafatumata Idra. And I think the biggest piece here is Idra, what she's been able to do for the last few games, especially on the inside. She's done a better job of getting to the free throw line. She's had 4+ free throw attempts in each of the last 3 games. She didn't have any attempts in the first 2 games. So she's being more dominant on the inside, getting more comfortable. I'd like to see how long she can produce games like she did yesterday, 12 points, 7 rebounds, a couple of blocks. And remember, she was coming off a pretty big game against Heston as well.
I think that was the game where Nafa really got some confidence in herself. She's just kind of carried herself in a much more positive manner since that Heston game, and we'll see if that bears out today. Yesterday, the Blue Dragon bigs and Brooklyn Betham and Abby Ogle, and it's still strange to say big and Abby Ogle when last year she was a guard. This year, right now, slotted in as a 4, but they got into early foul trouble. She came off the bench and had a very nice outing for the Blue Dragons. So it's the Blue Dragons at 5-0, the Jefferson College Vikings at 4-1. This team 1 year ago was just 6-21. Made some changes, only 3 players back from that team. So it should be a very interesting game. We're going to take a quick break and come back with the starting lineups. It's the Blue Dragons and the Vikings live on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Welcome back to Great Bend, everybody. Steve Carpenter, Darren Dunn with you. It's the 5-0 Blue Dragons, ranked number 7 in the land against the Jefferson College Vikings. And with the starting lineups, here's Darren Dunn.
Well, Jefferson College making a couple of changes and keeping a few pieces intact from yesterday's starting lineup. First of all, at guard, the 5'4" sophomore out of Missouri, Tonquasia Hayes. She'll get the start wearing number 5. One number to look out for and a name to watch out for. You'll probably hear it a lot today if she can stay out of foul trouble. That is Tyra Brown at guard, the 5'7" sophomore out of St. Louis, Missouri. Starting today, did not start yesterday, Gemma Ruiz Garcia at center, the 6'3" sophomore out of Spain. That'll go with what Steve was talking about here in the pregame, the fact that Jefferson College is going to go big on the inside. Add to that, out of Argentina, the 5'4" sophomore wearing number 20, Kiara de Vigilio. And then starting today, Kelly Hunter out of that guard forward position. She can do either, the 5'11" freshman out of Southfield, Michigan. So you'll see Gianna Copeland come off the bench. She started yesterday. You'll see Agustina Talasimo come off the bench as well, and she started yesterday. For the Blue Dragons, kind of settling into this same starting lineup, you go with what works. The 5'8" sophomore out of Baldwin City, Kansas, number 2, Abby Ogle. Then on the inside, the 6'3" sophomore out of Queensland, Australia, number 4, Brooklyn Betham. Queensland, Australia once again for Lauren Mapasua, the 5'9" sophomore wearing number 11. You get Michaela Vanette, the 5'6" sophomore out of St. Paul, Minnesota, hit those 6 big threes yesterday. And then Tori Alford, the 5'8" freshman out of Derby, Kansas, wears number 24 and runs that point position.
Might be just a tad bit delayed. Right now, the Barton facilities crew working on the basket to our right, which is closest to the Hutchinson bench. Good crowd on hand. A few people in the red across the way, but a nice strong right behind the bench to our right. So we get set for action here. The officials for today, Rachel Jackson, John Weimers, and Bryant Welch. So this is a stretch, Darren, where you get these 2 games. You've already got past Labette. You've got Jefferson today, and 2 big tests next week up in Council Bluffs, Iowa, with New Mexico and Iowa Western before you head into conference play. So this is a pretty key stretch for the Blue Dragon women.
Yeah, a chance to show what you can do on a neutral court, going into neutral court action then again next week. And you have a chance to show how well you can travel. I mean, yeah, this is traveling, but really not that great of a distance. You really put into effect how much traveling can impact your team when you go as far as the Iowa Westerns of the world.
Series history between these two. They've only met twice, and Jefferson's come out on top both times. First game happened at the Sports Arena in 2003. The Vikings won 48-42, and then a couple years later in the neutral court in Park Hills, Missouri, the Blue Dragons lost a 51-49 decision. So both games have been close, and we're about set to go. Ruiz Garcia for Jefferson to jump it up against Brooklyn Betham, and the Dragons control the tip. Vanette looks to attack, now pulls it out. It looks like Jefferson and a man. On the right wing, it's Abby Ogle. Dribbles back out top to Mapasua. She goes with the left hand, puts it up with the right hand, misses everything. And here comes Jefferson under the rebound for the Vikings. Dragons will be in their usual man-to-man defense. Tyra Brown running the point. Scored 22 points on 27 shots yesterday against Barton. Brown dribbling, picks up her dribble. Now off to Hunter. She tries a long three-pointer left side, hits the back iron, no good. The backboard, no good. Tori Alford clears the rebound. She's on a hot streak right now shooting. Ogle on the post. Dribble, kicks it out right side. Vanette tries a three-pointer, swish. Yesterday, Michaela Vanette moved into 10th place all-time on the Blue Dragon three-point list. She now has 105 for her career, but this one gives it a 3-0 lead 1 minute in. There's a drive into the lane, nearly taken away by Ogle, and she does pick it away. Tries to throw it ahead to Vanette. Now the Dragons with possession. Vanette weaves through it to Ogle. Abby tries a 3 left side. That one too strong. Right into the hands of Mapasua, and the Dragons reset. Vanette left wing. Out top to Alford. Fakes a 3. Now goes with the right hand. Dragons run the weave. Ogle now to Vanette. Looks at a step back 3. Drives in the lane. Kicks right side to Alford for a 3. Yes! 6-0 Hutchinson on back-to-back threes. Alford, 1 of 6 to start her career, now 11 for her last 20. Another steal by Ogle. What's new? She's ahead of the defense. Layup is good. And a quick timeout taken by Ashley McGee, the first-year head coach of Jefferson College. It'll be a full one. 8:14 to play opening quarter. Dragons 8, Jefferson nothing. This is Blue Dragon basketball on the Blue Dragon Sports Network.
Thank you, my good man. Yeah, hey, do you have your flash? Yeah, I'll give it to you half time.
Okay. Welcome back to Great Bend, Kansas. A quick start for Hutchinson. Darren up 8-0.
Well, Abby Ogle shows you what she can do on both ends of the court. You know, she had that record 12 steals against Heston the other night. She shows in the paint as well how big of a presence she could be, even only at 5'8". I think the big thing we saw for her is she turns and she faces up and gives you the ability to make those short passes across the paint or find folks like Vanette outside for a big three.
Jefferson with possession. Hayes now right side to DeVerlio. Whistle and a foul away from the ball. I think it's an illegal screen. And it'll go against Tyra Brown. That one clean the other side of the court.
That's the one player we said, if she can stay out of foul trouble, she's huge for the Vikings. Averages 20 points a game.
3 turnovers already for the Vikings. Left wing is Lauren Mapasua. Kicks it out top to Vanette. Fakes a 3, drives, kicks it out to Alford. 3-pointer, good. Man, is she hot right now. Back-to-back 3. She had 6, and the Dragons lead at 11-0. Just 2 minutes and 20 seconds into this one. Vikings trying to find their first points. Dave Vahalio with the ball. Now kicks it off to Brown. She spins in. Shot no good. Mapasua with the placement board, and she pushes it. Mapasua slows it up. Goes cross-court left to Alford. Bounce pass into the post, and Ogle back out top to Betham. Ball worked around now to Mapasua. She hands off to Michaela Vanette. Ball worked around left side to Ogle. 13 to shoot. Alford tries another 3 and nails it again. She's 3 for 3. Alford with 9, and it's 14-0 Hutchinson.
She really hit her groove against Heston when she scored 21, and she's parlayed that into a couple of big games.
Now 13 for her last 22 from distance for Tori Alford. Dragons up 14-0. Kelly Hunter with the ball. A very stagnant offense for the Vikings right now. Now top with it is Dave Vahalio. Drives with the left hand. Tries a little baby hook up the glass, no good. Cleared by Betham. Here come the Dragons. It's Ogle. Crosses over, loses control, picks it back up on the baseline. Drives the baseline, goes up and underneath. She scores, she's fouled, and it counts. The foul. Wilson against Kelly Hunter, her first. That's 4 for Abby. A 16-0 run to start the game. About as good as you can get.
Well, the Vikings just not shooting well at all. And granted, the Blue Dragons are forcing them into some terrible shots, but not even drawing rim on plenty of those last few attempts.
Katarzyna Pikova out of the Czech Republic, a 5'5" freshman guard, checks in for the Vikings. Abby completes the 3-point play. She has 5, and it's 17-0 Hutchinson. Dave Vahalio now gets it across, and now the Vikings go to work. Down underneath. Shot up short, no good. A shot up by Kendall Boyer, who just checked into the game. Dragons push. Mapasua gets to the baseline, cut off by a double team, out to Alford. Corey will bring it out and reset the offense with 19 to shoot. Ogle with it between the circles, right side Mapasua. Mapasua waits for Cutters, instead gives it off to Abby. Fakes a 3, drives, kicks it up underneath the Betham, and she scores on a feed from Abby Ogle. Brooklyn Betham in the book, 19-0 Hutch. Right now, Jefferson just looking for anything clean. Augustina Talisimo in the game. Step back 3-pointer by Brown. Hits the back iron, no good. With the bore offered, and they look to push again. Skip pass right side at Michaela Vanette, hits a 3. The Dragons are 5 for 5 from deep, and it's 22-0, and we're not even halfway through the first quarter.
All 5 have come from Van Etten and Alford.
David Helio drives off a screen, gets picked by Alford. It's turnover number 4 for Jefferson. Alford splits 2 defenders to Abby Ogle, who lays it up and in. 24-0. Timeout Jefferson. The Blue Dragons came in focused, and they have a 24-0 lead just 5 minutes into this one. We'll take a break. Again, Hutchinson 24, Jefferson nothing. This is the Blue Dragons Sports Network. Welcome back to Great Bend, everybody. If you remember Tuesday night, Darren, Hutchinson gave up the first bucket to Hessen, but then reeled off 17 in a row. As impressive as that was, this is off the charts good.
Well, I mean, you're seeing even more so defensively. Essentially, you're in the middle of the Vikings being in a 5-minute drought and 0 for 5 right now from the floor. So 5 attempts in 5 minutes of basketball.
Dragons 9 of 11 from the field, 5 of 6 from 3, 24-0. There's a drive by Talisimo, kicks it out to Brown. Brown takes it in the lane, goes up with the left hand and scores. So at the 4:46 mark, Jefferson gets their first bucket, and now a turnover on the way back by Hutchinson.
Well, Brown right now trying to lead her team by actions. During that timeout, she was pleading with her team to please wake up. You guys got to wake up and play ball.
Kiara Virgilio running the point. Ball worked around right side to Brown. Now underneath, and a foul called on Brooklyn Betham, kind of leading in with the arm bar.
It's kind of interesting when you look at Brooklyn Betham's statistics. She averages a double-double, but has yet to have a double-double this season.
Right.
It seems like when she's scoring well, she doesn't have as many rebounds and vice versa.
Nafatumata Idra checks in for Brooklyn Betham. On the inbound, David Haleo can't get the shot to go. Ball knocked into the hands of Kendall Boyer, and the Vikings reset. There's a drive by Talisimo, who kisses it off the glass and scores. 4 in a row now for Jefferson after the Blue Dragons opened the game on a 24-0 run. 4:15 to play, Dragons by 20. Abby Ogle between the circles. Now Mapasua left side to Van Etten. Entry pass inside, kicked outside, offered another 3. This one she finally misses. Abby Ogle comes up with the rebound, gets stripped, and the Vikings come away with it. Behind the bracket is Brown. Cut off by Mapasua, fadeaway jumper, no good. High for the rebound is Alford, kicks it to a wide open Van Etten. The pass too long. She saved it from going out of bounds, but into the hands of Kendall Boyer. So the team's now getting a little bit sloppy. Here's Brown to the paint, kicks it off to Patkova, who scores on a nice feed from Tyra Brown. And it's 6 in a row for Jefferson, 24-6 the score. Don Otts is telling everybody to settle down and get back into the flow. Ogle with it on the left wing. Working against the man-to-man. Ogle drives to the free throw line, still has the dribble, goes to the left hand. Underneath to Idra, who scores on a nice feed from Abby Ogle. Nafa gets her first bucket, and it's 26-6. Blue Dragon men just arriving for their 3 o'clock game with Iowa Western. There's a long 2-pointer by Patkova. She's come in off the bench, Darren, and created a nice little spark. She's got 4, and it's 26-8.
Yeah, just knocked down probably the longest 2-pointer you can have.
Now Alford. Dragons run the high weave. Mapasua dribbles left, goes to Ogle. Ogle working against Patkova, out to Van Etten. She bobbled the ball, drove, nearly threw it away, saved by Alford in the right corner. Crossover dribble, Alford, wraparound pass out to Mapasua. Out top, Ogle, 3-pointer on the way. Hits front iron, no good. And Augustina Talisimo gets the rebound for Jefferson. Now, Dragons cooling off just a bit after starting 9 for 11. Bounce pass inside to Boyer, powers up against Nafa, and she fouls her. So Kendall Boyer gets 2 free throws coming on the foul by Nafa Idra.
You mentioned in the pregame about the post work and how that was going to be important for Jefferson College, and really finally these last few possessions really trying to set that up, get the ball over to the wing, get a good angle on the inbound, the entry pass to try to get it down to the bigs and work themselves to the line. You mentioned Iowa Western just a few minutes ago. The head coach, Ashley McGee for Jefferson College, former assistant at Iowa Western. This is her first head coaching job.
Kendall Boyer misses the first. She's out of Festus, Missouri. I've seen a lot of Jefferson teams over the years, and they always have players from Festus. I know they're near each other, so it's a good recruiting ground for the Vikings. Second free throw by Boyer is good. She goes 1 out of 2, and it's 26-9. So, in essence, a 9-2 Jefferson run, but they still stare up at a 17-point deficit with 2:14 to play in the opening quarter. Alford out to Ogle. The Dragons set up. Presley Barton to the game out of Mill Valley. Out top to Ogle. She puts it on the floor, drives, kicks her right to side to Sasha Francis. Out to Barton. She tries a long two-pointer and gets it. Nope, they call it a three. Presley Barton gets her third three of the year. It's 29-9. Crossover dribble by Difa Helio. Kicked outside to Talisimo. Her long two, no good. Battle for the rebound. One by Alford in the corner. Now she gets the outlet to Ogle. The Dragons run 4-on-2. Ogle speeds it up, dumps it off to Nafa. Nice move. Can't finish with the left hand, though. And a tied possession on the rebound, and the arrow points toward Jefferson College. So you did the one game at the arena, the second game of the year, or the Classic at the arena when I was up at Iowa Western. Nafa's gotten so much stronger with that left hand, hasn't she?
She's gotten stronger, and you can tell she's got a couple of moves she likes to throw at you when she gets the ball in the paint.
Kyra Paniora speeds up and loses control on the break. Third turnover unofficially by the Dragons. I think I might have missed one. So Paniora, Sasha Francis, Presley Barton, Nafa Tumata, Idra, and Abby Ogle on the floor for the Dragons. Abby nearly gets another steal, but commits a foul, battling with Augustina Talisimo. Abby will pick up her first. Abby has always had a propensity to foul, just hustle plays. Would that be the safe way to put it?
Yeah, and there's no way you're going to ever get 12 steals in a game without committing a couple of fouls.
On the right side, Brown, her fadeaway hits. She has 4. She had 22 yesterday against Barton. 29-11, under a minute to play in the opening quarter. Paniora running the point. Jaleesa Cooper also in the game. Here's Barton on the left wing. Out to Francis. She drives one. Out to Paniora, drives the baseline. Kicks it out top to Barton. Long three-pointer. Swish! The Blue Dragons had a season-high 9 threes yesterday. They've already got 7 here in the first quarter today, 32-11. What a start for Hutchinson.
3 Dragons with 2+ three-pointers made already in the first quarter.
Talisimo on the baseline, goes up against a double team, misses. Idra the rebound, 22 seconds to go, shot clock off. Paniora into the corner, Francis. She nearly gets stripped, ball loose. Cooper comes and gets it, drives the baseline, and she travels with it. Got caught between decisions, thought she was going to kick it out to Barton, but then tried a wrap-around layup, and she ends up traveling.
Had a nice finish, just couldn't keep that pivot foot down.
Jefferson should get the last shot here with 6 seconds to go. Brown working against Paniora. Goes left hand, loses control for a moment. 2-1. They're not going to get the shot off. And a spectacular first quarter by the Blue Dragons comes to an end. After 1 here in Great Bend, it is Hutchinson 32, Jefferson 11. Back with the second quarter in 60 seconds. This is Blue Dragon basketball on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Dragons. 7 out of 10 for 3, and they started off 24-0. Now lead 32-11. What do the numbers tell us, Darren?
Well, for the Blue Dragons now in the first quarter of action have outscored opponents 127-62. You can't ask for much more than that, starting off games strong. The Blue Dragons do have 5 turnovers. A lot of those came under 5 minutes. You know, there's that 5-minute drought for Jefferson College. And then, as you mentioned, both teams started to get a little bit sloppy. Jefferson College with 4 turnovers meanwhile.
Presley Barton, Jaleesa Cooper, Napatumata Idra, Presley Barton, and Sasha Francis. The 5 on the floor for the Blue Dragons as we begin the second quarter. Francis out between the circles, dribbles right, gets the hedge, keeps her dribble. Now to Cooper. Jaleesa takes it in the lane, goes up, can't finish. Idra the rebound, kicks it high off the glass. Her follow no good. Cooper the rebound, she can't hit the follow. And finally, Talisimo gets the rebound for Jefferson. 3 good misses, or chances, that the Dragons can't finish. Now Jefferson's first possession of the second quarter. Out top, Petkova tries a long 2 and misses an air ball. She came off the bench and scored 4 quick ones for Jefferson to provide a little bit of a spark.
Yeah, that's the second time she's been kind of right on that in between, that gray area where either you're going to shoot the 3 or you're not. You need to shoot the 3 if you're going to be out that far. If not, you might as well take a step in and shoot a true 15-footer.
Kendall Boyer in for Gemma Ruiz Garcia for Jefferson. Kyra Panior running the point. Dragons go to the lead. Francis, now Barton. Left wing, Cooper gets stripped. Alicia chases it down. Now in the corner is Sasha Francis. 13 to shoot. Skip pass all the way to the right corner. And Panior, she drives and kisses it off the glass and scores. Her first bucket, 34-11. Nice move. That's most conviction she's had on a drive this year. Bad pass, and it's a turnover. Brown lobbed it into Boyer and just couldn't handle it. She dribbles on the sideline. Turnover number 5 for the Vikings. Dragons up by 23 in this one. Out top, Cooper. She puts it on the floor, goes up strong with the right hand, too strong. Didn't draw iron, and pushing up the floor is Talisimo. Now into the hands of DeVihilo. Into the hands of Brown, who gets fouled on the way in.
Presley Barton had an opportunity there to take a charge and kind of got caught in that spot where she wasn't sure whether she wanted to take it or not.
So near wholesale changes for the Dragons. Ogle, Mapasua, Betham, and Vanette join Kyra Paniora on the floor. Tyra Brown, a 57% free throw shooter, gets the first. She has 5.
You notice Brown has been working inside the three-point line today for good reason. She was 1 for 10 from distance yesterday.
Both free throws are good. She will be replaced by Kelly Hunter out of Southfield, Georgia. And it's 34-13 with 8:30 to play here. Second quarter in Great Bend. Steve Carpenter, Darren Dunn with you on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Mapasua now left side to Ogle. Abby surveys out top to Vanette. Now into the post, Betham goes right, goes left, and gets fouled on the way up. She's got that good double move, Darren, does Brooklyn Betham. It's going to draw a lot of fouls this year. Gianna Copeland picks up the foul, and Brooklyn Betham, just a 41% free throw shooter at the line. First one goes halfway down and rattles back out.
Copeland coming off the bench today. First time we've seen her here this afternoon. Leads this team in rebounds. Had 12 of them yesterday.
Second free throw by Brooklyn. This one's on the money. She has 3, and it's 35-13 Blue Dragons. Tyra Brown working against Paniora. And a foul away from the ball. They're going to call an offensive foul on the Vikings. It'll be Gianna Cooper.
Yeah, so back-to-back plays, one on the defensive end and one on the offensive end, and just like that, Copeland's probably going to take a seat on the bench.
Back in to replace her is Kendall Boyer. John Onches calls one down. See how the play develops. Panior deep in the backcourt. Goes right side Mapasua. Lauren waits. Ogle pops out to get it. Now left to Vanette. Skips, drives, pulls up from 12, no good. And the rebound out to the Vikings. Be interesting to watch Michaela Van Etten today. Again, she missed the Heston game with the leg injury. Played strong minutes yesterday. We'll see how it playing back-to-back that will go. Shot up no good by Tyra Brown. Dragons clear the board. Here's Van Etten. She'll slow it up. Working against a double team, and she gets picked away by Talamissimo, and she'll lay it up and score. So Michaela tried to dribble up against a double team, and Talamissimo picks it off and goes in for the layup. 35-15, 7:15 to play. Van Etten tries a three-pointer and swishes it. Left wing. That young lady is feeling it. That's now 9 3-pointers in this classic. She has 9 today with 3 3-pointers. 38-15 the score. Now number 10 on the Blue Dragon chart. There's a drive in the lane by Brown. Can't get the left-hander to go. Brooklyn Betham clears the board for Hutchinson. Paniora brings it up the left side. Van Etten between the circles. Dribbles, keeps it now. Goes to the right wing. Paniora pops out. Now Ogle between the circles. Left side Mapasua with 15 to shoot. Paniora goes underneath the post up. Tries to wrap around. Gets her shot blocked out of bounds by Hunter. And it'll stay with the Dragons and 10 to shoot. Tori Alford will check back in. Point guard for point guard, replacing Paniora. Michaela Van Etten now with 107 career threes. She's moving up on Amanda Fesson in the 9th place, who has 109. Van Etten left side, picks up her dribble, nearly gets it taken away, and does by Tyra Brown. Brown loses control. Alford takes it away. Tori Alford runs. Dragons go 4-on-2. Alford into the lane, kicks out Mapasua. Three-pointer right side, got it. Lauren with her 5th three-pointer of the season, and it's 41-15.
4 Blue Dragons now have knocked down triples.
9 for the game, tying a season high set just yesterday against Labette. Talamissimo drives into the lane and is fouled, and I think Brooklyn Betham pleading your case. But they called on Lauren Mapasua.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that goes against Mapasua. I feel like that's just an official kind of getting a little bit blocked off from the play and not actually being able to see what happened. We have a great angle up here without having to move, and all she grabbed was the ball.
Did not call it on the shot. So it's an inbounds baseline. Should have been a travel, and it's inbounds taken away by Michaela Van Etten. Ogle pushes it up ahead to Mapasua. Lauren crosses over to the left hand, kicks out top. Wild pass, chased down by Ogle. Now Van Etten has it. Van Etten dribbles to the right wing, out between the circles. Ogle. Alford now left wing. Mapasua right back to Alford. Tori tries another three-pointer. This one's short. Tori's missed her last 2 after hitting 3. Now running the floor is Talamissimo. She can't get it to go, but it'll be a foul on the Blue Dragons, Abby Ogle.
And that's one since she already has one, you would hope she wouldn't take. Just play good defense and see if you can force Talamissimo into a miss, and instead gets that little hack action at the tail end of it.
Augustina Talamissimo had 8 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists yesterday against Barton, averaging 10 a game. Just a 33% free throw shooter. Her first one misses. 41-15, 5:28 to play here. Second quarter, second one too strong. Mapasua with the rebound for the Blue Dragons. Lauren speeds it ahead, crosses over, nice move, goes up the left hand, blocked out of bounds by Gianna Cooper. It'll stay with Hutchinson. Kiara De Vigilio back in for the Vikings. That's just one syllable too many for me right now on her, Dave. Now top, Van Etten. Now Mapasua kicks it up. Van Etten tries another three-pointer. This one bounces off the front iron, misses, and Dave Vigilio gets the rebound. Kicks it ahead to Brown for the Vikings. He'll slow it up. Skip pass right side, Kelly Hunter, who tries a three-pointer. This one too strong. Cooper had one hand on the rebound, but it goes into the hands of Brown, and Cooper fouls her. Delicia kind of got caught in no man's land. She was being held by one player, really couldn't go after the ball. And when Brown drove in, all she could do was basically hack her because her arm was still out there.
Yeah, and Mapasua immediately came away, patting her chest, saying, hey, that's my fault. She missed that box out on the backside of Brown, which allowed her to get on the inside and get the offensive opportunity.
Brown hits the first. She now has 7, averaging 20.6 a game. Eye-popping numbers for Tyra Brown, 20.6 scoring average. We have a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. Finishing my thought on Brown, 20.5 rebounds, 7.6 assists, 2.4 steals, shooting 51%. Those are Abby Ogle type numbers.
Now leads this team, in assists, and oftentimes when you look at that assist-to-turnover ratio, you're hoping to have something in the ones coming into this tournament. Her assist-to-turnover ratio is 2.9, so
that's
almost
solid.
3 assists for every turnover for Tyra Brown.
So 41-16 with 5:01 to play. The Dragons will be off until next Thursday when they travel to Council Bluffs to take on New Mexico Junior College, the team that knocked them out of the national tournament in the semifinals 1 year ago, or 1 season ago, I should say. They will also take on Iowa Western. They will have a break in between. They will play New Mexico on Thursday, day off on Friday, play Iowa Western on Saturday. So it's a somewhat of a unique setup, but that's the way they have it set up in Council Bluffs. There will be streams for you. We won't be there to bring it to you live, but we'll have Iowa Western streaming both of those games for us. Second free throw by Brown is good as we're back to action. She has 8 in the game now, and the lead for the Blue Dragons, 41-17. National Volleyball Tournament in town next week in Hutchinson, and we're all to work that. Sasha Francis between the circles, guarded closely by David Haleo, and the guard for Jefferson College commits her first foul.
I guarded a little bit too closely.
13th foul. And a new 20-second shot clock as Francis inbounds to Alford. Alford now dribbles to the right wing, keeping the dribble. Off to Cooper. Jaleesa wanted to go, guarded closely. Throws it back out top to Francis with 8. Sasha between the legs. Left side to Michaela Vanette. Tries a three-pointer. Bounces too high and hits the shot clock. And the possession goes to Jefferson College. Dragons never got into an offensive flow on that possession. Now it's Tyler Brown for Jefferson College. Off left side, Patkova. And she's fouled. It was a late foul. You could almost say it was after the shot.
Yeah, that's one of those where they want to make sure that the shooter comes down, and Sasha Francis didn't quite allow Patkova to do so.
Katarzyna Patkova out of the Czech Republic. That's just her second free throw of the year. She's been good on both. She has 5, averaging 4.3 per game. 41-18 the score. Second one on the way. Good. Patkova was 6. 41-19 the score. This game started on a 24-0 run by Hutchinson. Dragons continue to work the weave. Francis. Now left side to Vanette. Michaela, one dribble, picks it up. Now into Betham on the high post. Right side, Alford for 3. This one too strong. Michaela Vanette speeds and gets the rebound. New possession for Hutch. And now a timeout by the Blue Dragons. John Autry sees something in the execution he doesn't like. It'll be a big one. 3:49 to go, second quarter. Dragons 41, Jefferson 19. This is the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Sports Network. Join Darren and Glenn right after this game as the Blue Dragon men take on Iowa Western here at the Cougar Booster Club Classic. That's about a 3 o'clock tip if everything stays on. You will have to change links on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. But until then, stick with us. I know there's a ton of college football on TV, but this is way much better. 41-19 Dragons. Alford inbound, out top to Vanette. And guarding too closely is Tyra Brown, and she'll pick up her second foul.
You rarely see John Anches take a timeout. I think the main reason for that timeout a little bit ago, not only the execution that you mentioned, but the score. It's 9-8 here in this second quarter of play.
Francis into Alford deep. She'll dribble to the top of the key and go left side to Francis. Saj with the dribble, kicked out top Vanette, three-pointer top of the key. This one misses left. And Tyra Brown the rebound. Kicks it ahead to Diva Helio. She'll go up, dump it underneath. And the shot bounces around and in for Gianna Copeland, who gets her first point. You're exactly right there. There was an elbow there that was not called. 41-21, Dragons with the 20-point lead.
They call that a healthy elbow.
Cooper with it. Out top to Vanette. Michaela drives, steps back, keeps her dribble. Cooper out, top of the key. Underneath to Betham. Bad pass, knocked away and taken away by the Vikings. It's Lee. Kick left side. Shot no good by Diva Helio. And the Dragons catch a break. Tori Alford to Betham, top of the key. Now the Dragon offense has grown a little bit stagnant here in the last few minutes. Dribbling between the circles, Vanette, left side, Francis. Sasha looks for a cutter, does not have her, out to Vanette. Now underneath to Betham. She gets fouled on the way up and can't finish. There'll be a foul on Gianna Copeland. That'll be her third.
Now the Dragons' last possession had Brooklyn Betham wide open underneath. You mentioned the bad pass. Had the pass been all the way to the left block, you get a chance to get her open. Instead, that pass from Cooper kind of went to the back shoulder and closer to the right block. So you lead your player a little bit. That's the difference between an assist and a turnover.
Brooklyn Betham will shoot two. Tori Alford and Michaela Vanette take a break. Presley Barton, Kyra Paniora in for the Blue Dragons. And Bethany misses everything on that particular attempt. Now 1 for 3 from the line. Again, just a 41% free throw shoot. And that number has come up since the first couple of games.
On this team, an uncharacteristic 57.7% from the line this year. You normally don't see that from John Anch's coach teams.
Betham misses both. And the Vikings have a chance to cut it under 20 this possession. Tyra Brown tries an entry pass down to Boyer. It's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Vikings in 21 to shoot.
It's been a real struggle for the Vikings. I mean, doing a little bit better in the second quarter, but most of the damage was done in the first. Started 0 for 6. This team is normally about a 41% three-point shooting team. 0 for 5 here this afternoon.
Nafa Idris comes in. Diva Helio tries to step back three, and she thought she lost it out of bounds, but they say last touch by Paniora. So John Otch is trying some different, with the large lead, trying some different combinations, work on a few things here where they can. Diva Helio goes left, dribbles right, kicked out top to Talisimo. She drives. And a foul call on the Dragons.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I guess they're going to get Barton for that one. I thought they were going to go and get Cooper, and I was going to say, man, that's unfortunate because Cooper took the brunt of that when Talisimo kind of lowered the shoulder.
Talisimo, 0 for 2 from the line. Again, just a 33% free throw shooter in the early season. And gets that one to hang on the rim and fall in. She has 5. 41-22. Lead under 20 for the first time in quite some time. This game started 24-0. She hits both. 2 out of 4 for Talisimo. And it's 41-23. Kyra Paniora barks out the play. Idra. Now ball worked around right side to Cooper. Entry pass inside to Idra. She goes up the left hand, hangs on the rim and drops in. Another left-handed move by Nafa Idra. She's got 4 and it's 43-23 with $1.50 to go first half. Petkova in the backcourt working against Presley Barton. Now Talisimo goes with the left hand. Goes up, may have been partially deflected, but right into the hands of Kendall Boyer, who hits the putback, and it's 43-25. Boyer with 3. Paniora hands it off to Barton. Dragons run the weave. Francis comes out to get it. Now Cooper deep in the backcourt. Passes to over, now into the corner. Paniora, she hits her first career three-pointer as a Dragon. 1 for 8 now to start the season. She's got 5 minutes, 46-25, and the Dragons have a new season high of 10 3-pointers. Underneath the Boyer, deflected away into the hands of Talissimo. She goes up and draws a foul. Who are they going to get? Nafa Hydra. So 16 fouls. That scoreboard's not set right. It's only supposed to go to 5. Talissimo misses this free throw. Now 2 for 5. So she's missed 2, made 2. So if the trend goes, Darren, she should miss this one. Vikings not even on the block. She does, and Nafa Hydra clears the board. Under a minute to play. Dragons by 21. Paniora gaining confidence with every game. Freshman out of Queensland, Australia. Francis underneath to Nafa. Under her scoop shot up and in on a great feed from Sasha Francis. Hydra has 6 and it's 48-25. DeVergilio with the ball. Now Talissimo, or excuse me, that's Hunter. She drives into the lane, gets her shot blocked by Sasha Francis, and it stays with the Vikings in 30.9 seconds to go, 18 to shoot.
4th block of the season for Francis.
Inbounds baseline right side into the hands of Talissimo. She'll put it on the floor, drive in the lane, kicked out. No, a foul called in the paint. And it's against Jalecia Cooper, her second. Coop's been struggling lately defensively. She's been committing a lot more fouls than she did in the first couple of games. So it's Talissimo again at the line and makes this one. So if the trend is good, she'll make the second. Miss 2, make 2, miss 2. Hits the first on this one and misses the second, so the streak is snapped. Shot clock off. Dragons by 22. Paniora slows it up. Working against Petkova. Dribbles left side now to Francis. Barton with it, running the weave. Paniora. 12 on the clock. Paniora with the dribble. Hesitates, drives in the lane, goes up, gets her shot blocked. Now with 5 seconds, speeding it up the floor of the Vikings. Talissimo tries a long 2-pointer, no good, and that's the buzzer, and we are at halftime. So the Blue Dragons start the game on a 24-0 run and then are outscored 26-24 the remainder of the half, but take a 48-26 lead at halftime. Wow, stats coming up in just a couple of minutes. Again, at halftime, Hutchinson 48, Jefferson 26. This is Blue Dragon basketball on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Sports Network. A spectacular start by the Blue Dragon women. 24-0 to start the game, and they lead Jefferson College at halftime 48-26. It was a masterful three-point shooting performance. The Dragons already with the season-high 10 three-pointers in this one. They had the season-high 9 yesterday, so 19 three-pointers in this classic. So right now they're enjoying the look of the Barton Gymnasium. And with all the numbers, here is Darren Dunn.
Jefferson College comes into this game shooting about 56% from the floor. Came out really cold in this one. You might remember started the game 0 for 6 before getting going, but they've only got going inside the arc a chilling 0 for 7 from beyond it. And inside the arc, they are only 28.6%. 8 points for Tyra Brown. She adds 2 rebounds to that. Katarzyna Patkova has 6 points, 7 for Agustina Talasimo. She added 3 rebounds to that count. And then Kendall Boyer, 3 points and 2 rebounds. For the Blue Dragons, a handful of players being able to get out and knock down threes. In fact, 5 Blue Dragons have knocked down at least 1 triple, and a couple of them already have 3 that they've put in. Alford started out, got her first 3. Vanette hit her first 3 as well. Both of those players have 9. Abby Ogle got those 2 fouls, so we didn't see much of her the rest of the second quarter. But before she went out, ended up with 7 points, 5 assists to go with it. Brooklyn Betham working on the inside, 3 points, 4 rebounds. Lauren Mapasua knocked down a triple. We mentioned Vanette and Alford each with 9. Kyra Paniora hits her first 3, as you mentioned, in that first half as a Blue Dragon. Before that, 0 for 7. So good to see her get that monkey off her back. And then Presley Barton able to knock down a couple of three-pointers. She's 2 for 2 from distance. She has 6. And Nafatu Mata Idra showing what she can do in the paint. We've seen a couple different moves. There's her patented move that she really likes, but then we saw kind of a scoop and score from the right side as well. Kind of that running layup for Idra. She's shooting 3 for 5 on the inside. She has 6 points. The Blue Dragons able to shoot 50% from the floor, shooting 55.6% from distance. The one number you want to circle that we mentioned in that first half is this is not typical of a John Honch's coach team. The Blue Dragons come into this game shooting just under 58% from the free throw line, only 40% from the charity stripe in that first half.
So a couple of housekeeping in terms of record watches. Again, we mentioned Michaela Vanette yesterday became the 11th Blue Dragon to reach 100 career steals, or career three-pointers. She now has 107. She's 2 shy of Amanda Fesson in the 9th place with 109. And the next up on that list, as Michaela starts chipping away, is Wendy Fehrenbach with 118. Also with 2 steals in the first half, Abby Ogle now with 127. She came into the day tied for 16th with Heather Robin. She's now tied for 15th with Renee Shoger at 127. Next up on that list, Ariella McGee with 132. So that gets you wrapped up there. And also, Michaela Vanette with 9 points in this one is just 11 points shy of reaching 500 points for her career. So those are the numbers, and we're going to take another break and come back, and Darren and I are just going to have to kill some time, which we're very good at doing. So we're going to take another break. Again at halftime, Hutchinson 48, Jefferson 26. This is the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Great Bend, everybody. Steve Carpenter, Darren Dunn with you. 48-26 Hutchinson lead at halftime. The Vikings have just come back out on the floor. And again, later this afternoon, coming up around 3 o'clock, Darren will be joined by Glenn Grunwald for the men's game against Iowa Western. And a little Hutch tie there. We mentioned Michael Johnette, a former assistant of Chad Wentz, has been the head coach at Iowa Western for a few years now. He was a long-time assistant under Jim Morris. He went to Iowa Western after he left Hutchinson. But the Blue Dragons yesterday against Monroe, Darren, really got just punched right in the mouth to start. A nice recovery. They were down 6 early, ended up leading by 18 at halftime. And at one point, the lead was up over 30, so they recovered nicely. Now you get Iowa Western, a much more disciplined type team. What do you kind of see previewing that one?
You look at a team that hasn't played for a few days. Obviously didn't play in this, it's well documented, didn't play in this tournament yesterday. So they come here today, haven't played since Tuesday, so you'll have to see if there's any rust that they have to shake off. At the same time, you'll see if the Blue Dragons then use yesterday's momentum to come in today, or if the team comes out a little bit tired. I don't really foresee any problems. I mean, they always say that this is why you play the game, right? But when you look across the board, you look at a team that the Blue Dragons really have another advantage against. You'll have to keep an eye out for Caleb Huffman. He had 20 points in the last game for that team, and he hit a couple of three-pointers as well. You've got Jalen Dalcourt, who scored 21 points as well. So a couple of guys who have no problem putting 20 up on the board. You want to make sure you keep those scorers away from the basket.
Two things that were noteworthy yesterday. A couple of different times, both DJ Mitchell and Tyler Brown were shaken up or got hit very hard. There was one time at the end of the first half, I think DJ went knee to knee with a Monroe player. And also late in the first half, Tyler Brown was knocked to the ground, and he was kind of holding his back. Obviously, it didn't hurt Tyler yesterday because he struck 5 3-pointers in the second half. But, you know, a short turnaround like that does give you some pause for concern.
Yeah, and they saw that when they went out to Liberal as well. You know, you get Jaden O'Cone goes into concussion protocol. DJ Mitchell was a little bit banged up, so he's popping the pain pills to try to be ready to play. But those guys are a little bit used to playing through some of those issues. I think you have to like the fact that you get big games yesterday from DJ Mitchell, Tyler Brown, and Majak Queth. Those guys put up 70% of the total points of the total 114 yesterday against Monroe. So you like the fact that you got a little bit of that sophomore leadership and the fact that you have a freshman who's come in and really has played well from the get-go. Out in Liberal, Majak had an outing in his debut where he was 6 for 7. Now you look at game 2, he kind of had the opposite where he couldn't really hit anything, but maybe this is the time when he starts to become more consistent. When you really look at freshmen, that's what you look for. Okay, you can have good games in spots, but can you bring us more of that leadership role where you can be consistent game in and game out, and we can count on you to give us that double-double, or we can count on you to score at least 10 points.
I've had several people come up to me and ask me about the much more difficult non-conference schedule the Blue Dragons are playing, also playing quite a few of these on the road. Your opinion on it? You're at home. You know, you're our PA announcer for the home games, and also you go on the road and do color. So you're around this team quite a bit. Your impressions of how this team is handling that difficult schedule?
Well, I think they've done really well. I mean, especially when you look at the men, it seems like they're playing solid competition, and teams that were good last year or receiving votes this year are in the conversation for being in the top of the nation, and they're beating teams by 20 points a game. It seems like night in and night out. And I've always loved, I'll use the example of the University of Kansas. You know, a few years ago, getting to that Champions Classic with the Dukes of the world. And I think that's always a good test at the beginning of the season to see where you're at. You know, a lot of times, if you schedule these teams you know you're going to beat and you can beat by 30 or 40, you don't have to go through those games where you're working against adversity and you're trying to figure out how to win as a team late. So that's why I like playing the stronger competition in the non-conference. It really prepares you better for conference play.
And I am 100% in agreement with you. Going back to this one real quickly before we take a break, obviously a 22-point lead at halftime. What do you foresee John Onches wants out of his team in the second half?
Well, I think he wants to see his team that played in the first quarter. But at the same time, you mentioned a lot of those bench players were getting looks in that second quarter. So that's probably why you see that closer game in that second quarter of play where Jefferson College actually won the second quarter 16-15. So he's going to want to see his main players, which he'll probably start and use a lot for the third quarter, go ahead and stretch that lead like they did in that first quarter of play. But then when the bench players get that opportunity, don't be so quick to turn the ball over. You saw some jitters from those players where the offense was no longer as fluid as it was when you had some of that sophomore leadership in there.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back at the start of the second half, 48-26, Hutchinson leads Jefferson. This is the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Carpenter, Darren Dunn, and His Highness Glenn Grunwald sitting in the throne behind us. Oh, that is a classic sign. Glenn in a nice, easy chair eating popcorn. That is the ultimate picture of Glenn Grunwald. Getting set for the second half. It's a 22-point Hutchinson lead. Again, the Dragons already a season-high 10 three-pointers in the first half, hitting 10 out of 18, 50% for the game. They're going to bring out their usual starting five. Abby Ogle at forward, Brooklyn Butham at center. Then the three guards, Tori Alford, Lauren Mapasua, and Michaela Van Nett. The Vikings will get the first possession of the second half. Tyra Brown, Dave Virgilio, Hunter, Hayes, and Reese Garcia, Copeland in the game for Garcia to start the second half. So here we go. There's a drive by Brown, spins out, kicks it out top to Hayes. She'll take it in the lane, runner too strong. And Tori Alford gets the rebound for the Dragons. That's her fifth rebound of the game. Ogle out top, now Vanette. Posts up Betham. She gets double teamed, spins out, throws it back out. Now wrapped around to the left corner of Mapasua. She drives, kicks out to Ogle. Now right side by Vanette. Good ball movement. Here's Betham with the hand, and she goes up, right hand, and she goes up and scores. That was great ball movement, Darren. That was great ball movement.
I'm going to start with Abby Ogle. You know, she kind of takes away that spot where you thought she was going to make the easy pass and kind of skips it into a pass that kind of forces the defense to move two spaces instead of one.
Betham with 5:50-26 to score. There's a tough shot in the paint by Brown, and on the rebound, it's a loose ball foul to the Vikings.
Yeah, Copeland, it's interesting. She gets to start here in the second half, already in foul trouble with three. Picks up her fourth now, and really she's out there not moving her feet, right? When you're picking up that many fouls and all at once within a couple of minutes of being in the game, that's just an unwillingness to move your feet.
Here's Alfred into the front court, dribbles. Betham now to Ogle between the circles. Right side, Mapasua hits a cutting Betham underneath. She goes high off the glass, can't get it to go. And Kendall Boyer just into the ball game for the Vikings. Dave Virgilio hesitates, goes up with the left hand. She gets a little floater to go. Kiara Dave Virgilio with her first points, and it's 50-28.
That's big for her. Averages almost 11 a game, had 14 yesterday, and held out that whole first half.
Mapasua, left wing, into the post at Alford. Powers one up, can't get the shot to go. Still loose. Betham gets the rebound, goes up and under, goes up, can't finish the shot. And as hot as the Dragons were the first half, they can't get a close one to go here in the second. Dave Virgilio into the front court. Now off to Hayes. Into the hands of Talisimo, who is into the game. Nice pass back, and here's Dave Virgilio into the paint. A lot of contact, no foul. And here come the Dragons after the rebound. 2-on-1. Bounce pass Ogle taken away by Dave Virgilio. Good anticipation by the Vikings guard. Now Brown. She gets her pass taken away by Alford. Dragons run 3-on-1. Alford to Mapasua. Right back to Alford. Back to Mapasua. Ball knocked loose. And the Dragons just didn't finish a golden opportunity. You should never, ever miss out a 3-on-1, or at least hit 9 out of 10 of them, Darren.
Yeah, and one on the last trip down, Abby Ogle just ends up hanging onto the ball a little bit too long to where the passing lane disappeared right before she wanted to throw it.
Into the game for Jefferson, number 10.
Katarzyna Patkova replaces Taquasia Hayes. Tori Alford inbound for the Dragons with 19 to shoot. 2.5 minutes into this one, into the third quarter. Alford waits for Van Nett to pop out. Now into the right corner, Ogle. They want to post up Betham. She's got it. Spins into a double team. Back out to Ogle. Head fake, now driving the lane. Then Abby Ogle hits a little floater for her 8th and 9th point of the game. 52-28. Abby Ogle can hurt you so many different ways. Brown. The dumps or skip pass left side to Talisimo. She drives back out to Brown. There's a shot on the way and hits the back iron or drops in. So Jefferson kind of changing their tactics, going a lot more dribble penetration to create some offense.
Brown, the first player into double-digit scoring.
Pass nearly taken away, and now is taken away by Patkova. Ahead to Talisimo, her layup good. So it's 52-32, the lead back down to 20. And as much as Hutchinson's been in control, they've got a lot of work to do in this one. Still 6.5 to play, third quarter.
Well, when you break out to a 24-0 lead, I mean, the other team can play with you the rest of the way. It's still going to look like a blowout.
Van Nett left wing with the dribble. Goes high post to Betham. She gets double teamed. Goes up and under, but she traveled. Tenth turnover by the Dragons. Each team at 8 at halftime. Quickly up the floor is Brown. Kicks it out to Patkova, and she hits a long two. So it's a 8-4 start to the third quarter in favor of Jefferson. The lead at 18, 52-34. And John Otchis wants a timeout. Once again, not real pleased with his team's performance. It'll be a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. So give Jefferson some credit there, and they were down big, and they continued to fight in this one.
Yeah, I think the Vikings dug way too big of a hole. I mean, like I said, you can play the rest of the game. You can play quarters 2 through 4 and be even with the Blue Dragons, and it's still at the end of the day going to be a blowout because of that early 24-0 hole the Vikings crawled into.
The Dragons trying for the 10th time under John Otchis to go 6-0. And they're got off to a great start, but now lead 52-34 here with 5:57 to go, third quarter. Jefferson 4 out of 7 shooting in this period. Hutchinson just 2 out of 5 with 3 turnovers. We kind of saw this out of the Blue Dragon men yesterday. They had that big lead at halftime, and Monroe made that initial early surge before the Blue Dragon men retook control of the game. So now the Dragons will inbound it. Tori Alford. Waiting, gets it into Van Nett. Throws it back at to Alford, who tries the three. Can't get it to go. Ogle the rebound and the putback. No backside rebounding for Jefferson, and Ogle is right there for the easy stick back. She has 11, and the Dragons lead by 20, 54-34, 5:40 to go. Brown with the top of the key. One dribble, working against Alford. Drive, spins left, fade away, shot good. Wow. And she averages 20. She had 22 yesterday.
Really altered her shot on that one.
12 here, 54-36. The score, Dragons on top.
I mean, the way she threw that, it looked like she was lobbing it up for an alley-oop.
Mapasua tries a three, top of the key, and misses everything. Good closeout by Talisimo. Now the Vikings back into the forecourt with a little bit of momentum. Brown picks up her dribble. Talisimo has it, drives in the lane, back out to Brown. Working against Alford, drives off the ball screen right. Throws it right to DiVirgilio, drives the baseline, and she travels with it. She got into no man's land, wanted to travel. Van Nett was there guarding the basket. It is turnover number 9 for the Vikings. Under 4:50 to play now, third quarter. Alford, right side to Mapasua. Ogle with it. Off to Van Nett. She spots up for three. That shot no good. The Dragons have cooled off mightily from three-point range, and the rebound goes out of bounds to Jefferson. Dragons were 7 out of 9 to start the game from 3. DiVirgilio drives, hands it off to Brown, who goes to the baseline, wrapped underneath, shot no good. Offensive rebound, Boyer, she can't hit the putback. Now the Dragons push. Here's Alford, ahead to Ogle, off to Mapasua, layup good. That time the Dragons did convert the 3-on-1, and Lauren Mapasua on the finishing end, 56-36. Ogle with her sixth assist of the game. Talisimo goes and can't finish underneath. Mapasua the rebound. Dragons look to push. Here's Ogle working against Talisimo. She hesitates. They're going to call an offensive foul on Abby. She may not have made contact with her, but just the sight of that elbow coming out to indicate a push-off cost her.
Yeah, there was a lot of space between her and the defender, and I'd have to agree with you. It was a forearm shiver, but it was a big whiff.
12th turnover by the Dragons. Ogle now has 3 fouls in the game. Patkova with the ball, hands it off to Brown. Brown fakes, drives into the paint, hesitates, fades away, throws up a wild left-hander that falls in.
She's got those circus shots down. I'll give that to her. That comes from playing a lot of horse.
14 now for Brown. Here's Alford all the way to the paint. She'll go up off glass and score. That was just great recognition by Alford. The whole defense left her, and she just went in with the right hand to score. Alford now with 11, 20-point lead. Foul on the other end. Brooklyn Bethlehem picks up her 4th.
First make for Alford inside the 3-point line.
Or correction, her 2nd foul. My apologies. Thinking back to yesterday. She's going to get a break, as well as Michaela Vanette. Nafa Idra and Presley Barton replace him in the Dragon lineup. Tyra Brown to trigger in, and now a foul before the ball is inbounded. And they're going to get Nafa Idra. That'll be her 3rd. Team's 3rd. Jefferson's committed just 1 foul in this 3rd quarter. And now, before the ball is inbounded again, Abby Ogle hits the floor to this offensive foul committed against Talisimov. How many times do you see 3 fouls called and the clock never dropped a second? Dragons with a 20-point lead in the ball. Presley Barton down to the high post. Ogle looked for a back cut, didn't get her. Barton tries a 3-pointer. Her shot short. Long rebound out to Patkova. Dragons get back defensively. Ball handed off to DeVerhelio. Goes to the left hand, takes it into the paint, kicks outside to Talisimo. She spins. Now Patkova with the runner. Can't get the shot to go. Nice box out by Alford. She gets the board. Torrey up the left side with 2:45 to go. Pulls up from 17. Rattles out, no good. Had a good look, just didn't get the shooter's roll. Brown back up for the Vikings. Hesitates, goes into the lane left-handed, blocked by Idra. That time the circus shot wouldn't go, and Alford brings it across the timeline, closely guarded by Brown. On the right side, Barton. Her pass too high for Ogle. It's a Dragon turnover. Oh, the freshman learn curve. Kyra Poniora checks in for Tori Alford. Also, Sasha Francis back in for the Dragons. So let's set the Dragon lineup for you. Presley Barton, Kyra Poniora, Nafa Idra, Abby Ogle, and Sasha Francis. 2:13 to go. Dragons lead 58-38. On top with it is Patkova. With the left hand, crosses over, picked by Barton. Presley pushes it up the floor to Ogle. Ogle's going to go up strong with the left hand and score. Nice defensive play by Barton, just picking the pocket of Patkova. 60-38 with 1:50 to play 3rd quarter. Brown with it, hesitating, brings it back out, guarded by Poniora. Drives right off a ball screen, and she loses control of it, but a foul was called. And they're going to get Idra. I believe that's her 4th.
Yeah, tough call to go against Nafa Tumata. I mean, I felt like she had her hands up in the air. She was moving her feet, so any contact there was fairly limited.
Brown to trigger it in to Kelly Hunter. Step back 3-pointer on the way, too strong. Long rebound to Poniora. Kyra looks to push. Splits a couple of defenders and a foul called. It will be Gemma Ruiz Garcia. And Kyra really had 2 decisions, and neither were going to be good. She could kind of speed through that double team or slow up and get absolutely hammered. Still drew the foul. So 94 seconds to play here, third quarter. Again, join Darren with Glenn Grunwald after this one's done. The Blue Dragon men versus Iowa Western right here on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Francis on the right wing. Looks out between the circles. Barton goes into Nafa in the high post. Goes with up the left hand and scores. Would you consider that her patented move, or is that what she's learned?
That is. That's the one she likes, to spin around and use that left hand to finish.
Nafa with 8, 62-38 Blue Dragons, 1:10 to go third quarter. Brown dribbles out of trouble. Now goes again and a foul away from the ball. I believe it's... Oh my.
She's going to foul out. We're just getting to see what Nafatumata Idra can do in the paint, and the same official gets the last 2 foul calls on her.
Nafa will foul out with 1:08 to play in the third.
Let me just tell you, Steve, there's an unwritten rule there. When you give a player their 4th, you better make sure the last one is a good one if you're going to give them the last 2 foul calls. Otherwise, you let somebody else foul them out. Not that you're supposed to know what the foul count is. Just kind of an unwritten officiating rule.
The cardinal rule was broken on that one. First free throw by Ruiz Garcia misses.
CBS, Steve, call the big stuff. Last 2 fouls on her have not been big.
Second free throw. That one also missing. And Brooklyn Betham corrals the rebound. Dragons by 24 with the ball. Ogle pushing it up. Going to go up and get fouled on the way in. Abby has 1 gear. Full speed ahead. Gemma Ruiz Garcia quickly picks up her 2nd. And Abby Ogle will shoot 2. 13 points in this one. She was held to 4 yesterday, but with foul trouble. First free throw's good. 63-38 with 61 seconds to play. Second one, right on the money. Jaleesa Cooper checks in for Abby Ogle. Ogle leads with 15 points. 64-38. Remember, this one started on a 24-0 run. DeVergilio brings it into the front court, goes with the right hand, hands it off to Hunter. She goes all the way in, goes up with the left hand to score. That one defensively won't be a good one for the Dragons. John Autch is not happy with it. Phil Anderson just dropped his head real quickly. Paniora now between the circles, Betham. Cooper comes out to help. Jaleesa puts it on the floor, kicks it right side to Francis. Now out to Barton. Barton goes with the left hand, off to Paniora. 13 to shoot. Ball worked around to Francis on the right wing. She's waiting for cutters. 8 to shoot. Here's Cooper. Drives past 1, drives past 2. Gets the ball taken away. Now stripped into the hands of Betham in a tied possession. And the arrow points Jefferson's way with 17.1 seconds left. Dragons just have, every once in a while, we'll have those possessions where just no flow happens, and it's going to be like a train wreck waiting to happen to see what's going to happen. So shot clock off now. Here's Brown into the lane, crosses over with the left hand, can't get the shot to go. Cooper gets the rebound with 2 seconds. 1, Paniora tries a long 3. It was on line, but it was too strong, and we've completed 3 quarters here in Great Bend. So the Dragons continue to lead big. After 3, it is Hutchinson 64, Jefferson College 40. This is the Blue Dragon Sports Network.
Hydra. And now suddenly all the officials are kind of getting into this ticky-tack mode.
Out between the circles, Betham. Cooper comes out to help. Now right side, Francis. Barton gets it back between the circles, dribbles to the left side. Quickly over to Pandior, tries another three-pointer and knocks it down. Kyra with her third three. She started her season 0 for 7, hit her last three. Dragons by 30, it's 70-40. Dave Haleo shakes and bakes, goes into the line and picks up a foul on Sasha Francis. Sasha didn't play yesterday. Getting a lot of minutes in this blowout victory, or soon-to-be victory. And Kiara Dave Haleo, a 75% free throw shooter at the line to shoot 2 for Jefferson.
A good stop-and-go move against Francis to get herself here.
Free throw on the way, hangs and drops in. Jefferson started their season 4-0. And be a 30-second. We'll just keep it right here. Again, I was mentioning that Jefferson started their season 4-0, but dropped a 76-71 overtime decision last night here against Barton. And obviously, they're headed for their second straight loss. Team was 6-21 a year ago, so they're still in rebuilding mode.
Yeah, well, you think they should easily be able to get to those 6 wins this year. You just got to stay away from those losing streaks, which obviously this team has had in the last couple of seasons, the first 2 years for Ashley McGee. You look at the numbers for Jefferson College coming into this one, you're thinking you're looking at one of the top teams in the nation, almost 87 points a game, 56% from the floor, a team that pulls down 40 rebounds a game, which matches what the Blue Dragons do. But then you look at the 4 teams they did it against where they had a 57-point victory in there, and it was a bunch of one-win teams.
Dave Haleo hits the second. She has 4. 70-42, the Blue Dragon lead. Poniora, Cooper, Barton, Francis, and Betham. The 5 on the floor for John Autches. Vikings extending out the defense a little bit. Cooper has it on the right wing. 15 to shoot for the Dragons. Here's Francis with the left hand, kicked out to Poniora. Goes it with the right hand between the legs, takes it into the paint, throws a wild shot, can't get it to go. Betham the rebound, and she finishes high off glass for the putback. Bethany was 7, 72-42. Quickly ahead to Brown. She'll go up and score against Barton. 5-7 versus 5-3 and 5-7-1 on that occasion. 16 now for Brown, 72-44 with 8:05 to play. Barton on the left side brings it back out top. Dragons definitely trying to set up Betham inside. Here's Francis waiting for Betham to come across. Counts on. Sasha drives, kicks it underneath to Betham, who lays it up and scores on a feed from Sasha Francis. Betham now with 9, 74-44. Foul on the other end. And it's whistled against Kyra Poniora, her first. Now the Blue Dragons have obviously, we mentioned this in the pregame, Darren, about the 4-game road swing here against quality competition. First 2 games, they've looked pretty good doing it.
Yeah, and especially to jump out today. I mean, you expect to beat a team like Jefferson College. You don't necessarily expect to jump out with a 24-point lead.
Brown makes 1 out of 2. She has 17. She scored the last 5 points for the Vikings in a 74-45. And miscommunication on Panior and Cooper. It's a turnover by the Blue Dragons. Their 15th of the game. Some freshman mistakes. Backdoor move, and Talisimov can't finish. Dragons will push it ahead. Cooper to Barton. She just catches and shoots a 3, misses. Rebound comes onto the weak side, and here comes Brown pushing it ahead. And Panior will foul her, cutting her off on the drive. We saw this a little bit in the Monroe game yesterday. Monroe goes a mile a minute. And when the game was completely out of control, all we saw was just 94 feet pushing, and the game got a little bit sloppy. Abby Ogle's going to check back in with Lauren Mapasua, replacing Francis and Cooper. They didn't consider the foul on the shot. So Brown will inbound. Gets it in to Talisimo, right back to Brown. She takes it in. Can't get the left-handed runner to go. Gets her own rebound, powers up, shot no good. And the ball tipped out to Mapasua. Running 1-on-3, Lauren backs it off, and the Dragons set up in the half court. Here's Ogle with it. Paniora, top of the key. Underneath to Betham. Her little runner up and good on a feed from Kyra Paniora. Right now, Brooklyn is owning the paint. She has 6 in the quarter, 11 for the game, and the Dragons lead 76-45.
You know, we said she averages a double-double, doesn't have one yet on the season. I think unofficially she just got there.
DeVerhelio now off to Talisimo. Fakes right, goes left, and can't get the left-handed runner to fall. Quick outlet by Betham to Ogle. Dragons 2-on-1. Ogle, layup, no good. Back come the Vikings. Petkova goes to Brown. Nice give and go, but Petkova can't finish. End-to-end action. Here's Paniora. Kicks it left side too far for Lauren Mapasua. Turnover, Blue Dragons. Number 16.
That's one place the last couple of possessions we've seen Paniora kind of struggle with is passing the ball on the move. You know, she missed Cooper earlier, which why you'd want to give the ball up to a forward at half court, I'll never know. But she's not as accurate right now when she's on the move.
Kelly Hunter, one dribble in, takes a long three, no good. Long rebound on to Mapasua. Mapasua bounce pass forward to Ogle, and she travels with it. Tried to get a little too cute. I think the ball might have gotten away from her as well. She would try a spin pass, and the ball jumped up on her. It's another turnover for the Dragons. That's 3 consecutive possessions with turnovers at the 5:50 mark of the fourth. Petkova, dribble drive, gives it off to Hunter, tries a three-pointer. Her shot short. Out to Paniora. She kicks it ahead to Ogle. One-on-one with Brown. Her layup good.
The difference there, you know, the last layup she missed from that side, she went up left side, right hand. Finally, she does it the way you need to do it at this level. Left hand on the left side of the basket for the finish.
Foul away from the ball. They're going to get Brooklyn Betham.
Certain things you can't do when a player's posting up against you. And they talk about dislodging and displacing, and a lot of it happens with the arms, or as in this case with Betham, with the knee, as she kicks that knee up into the backside of Copeland.
Dragons reached the 5-foul limit. So Gianna Copeland, a 36% free throw shooter with 2 here at the 5:27 mark. First free throw, good. Didn't look like a 36%er there. That thing was pure. 78-46 the score. Reiterate, this game started on a 24-0 Hutchinson run. Second free throw, that one too strong. Brooklyn Betham the rebound. Next break, we'll try to get a rebound total to make sure she does have a double-double. Here's a 17-footer by Betham. No good. Long rebound out to Mapasua. Barton out left side. Mapasua top of the key. She'll spot up for 3. Shot too strong. Another rebound for Betham. In a little bit of trouble. Dribbles out. Now gets it out to Paniora. And the Dragons reset. Right corner, Mapasua out top Ogle. Dragons back into the high weave. Mapasua right wing with the dribble. Hesitates. Goes off a ball screen. Step back three-pointer on the way. Air ball.
That's the second time from that spot we've seen her draw nothing.
We're 48 to play now. Right now, I think both teams are just kind of at that point where they're ready for the clock to hit 000 and move on. This has been all Blue Dragons from nearly the opening tip. Petkova goes inside to Copeland. Kicked outside to Hunter for a 3. Another missed 3 by Hunter. Here come the Dragons. Hunter not bashful about shooting 3s. She's just not making many of them. John Onchus wants spread offense. Out top to Ogle. Left side now Mapasua. Waits for cutters. Nothing there. Back out top to Ogle. Abby casts a quick 3 and she hits. Abby's 8th three-pointer of the year. Gives her 20. And it's 81-46. Brown speeds into the lane. Her shot may have been deflected into the hands of Ogle. Thrown over the defense into the hands of Presley Barton. Layup good. Barton with 8. It's 83-46. Right now the Dragons just getting easy run-outs on a very frustrated Jefferson team. Abby Ogle nearly gets another steal. Tipped out of bounds. It'll belong to Jefferson. Cooper in. Francis back in. Ogle and Mapasua out. We'll probably not see the starters for the remaining 3:42 of this one. outside of spurts today, Darren. A very impressive showing by the Blue Dragons.
Yeah, just had a couple of times where it didn't look like they knew what they wanted to do on offense, but other than that, pretty good basketball.
Ida Castile down to the game for the first time. She gets it back and tries a three-pointer, misses everything, goes out of bounds. So 3.5 to play. A very successful trip this weekend to Great Bend for the Hutch women. Now top Cooper with it. She'll go on the floor, drive, kick it into the corner. Francis for three. Shot missing. And coming away with it is Katarzyna Patkova. She runs into traffic, kicks out to Mackenzie Miller into the game for the first time. Now Hunter drives and gets the shot to go off glass. Nice touch with a hand in her face. Hunter gets her second bucket of the game. She has 4. 83-48 to score. I know John Otches deep down is wanting the Blue Dragons to hold Jefferson under 50. That's kind of his mark for a good defensive game. Francis pulls up from 15, shot too strong. Long rebound comes out to Boyer. So now the Dragons will try to defend against giving up 50. On the baseline is Castile. Skip pass right side, Miller. Wanted to go inside. Now it's handed off to Hunter. Hunter goes with the left hand. Hesitates, goes in again, scoops it up and scores. After missing several three-pointers, Kelly Hunter's gone inside twice. She now has 6 to cut the Dragon lead to 83-50. Betham, top of the key, drives against a double team, kicks back out to Cooper. Now left side, Francis. Francis drives into the lane, can't get her shot to go. A little bit too strong. Panior battles for the rebound and chases it down into the right corner. New shot clock for the Dragons with 2 minutes to go. Paniora, wide open look at three, swish. 4 3-pointers in the game for Paniora. She has 14. That's a season high for her. 86-50. And a momentary stoppage of play as Ida Castile ties her shoe.
How about that? To start off the season 0-for, and then the first game you hit a 3, you go off. So it's been feast or famine so far for Kyra Paniora from distance.
Kelly Hunter hesitates, goes with the left hand, shot blocked out of bounds by Cooper, and that was emphatic. 18 to shoot, 1:38 to play. Katarzyna Patkova to inbounds baseline right side. Scoops it in to Hunter. Hunter drives with the left hand and goes up and gets the shot to hang and fall in. She now has 8 all here in the fourth quarter, 86-52. With 1:25 to play. Just playing out the string in this one. 24-0, Hutch run to start it. Cooper with a three-pointer. And one misses. And Brooklyn Betham just misses another rebound. Last touch by her out of bounds to the Vikings.
Brooklyn Betham has been so big on the boards for this team this year. Has 25% of the team's rebounds.
You think about her very first game. She had 10 rebounds in the first half alone in the season opener against the Washburn JV. That's how big she's been. Ball loose on the floor, taken away by Paniora. Ahead to Cooper. She'll go up with the left hand and score. Cooper will get credit for the steal on the one end and then the finish on the other end with an assist from Presley Barton. 88-52 with 45 seconds to go. Patkova in the lane. Kicks the left side, Miller. Patkova comes out and gets it. Tries a 3 over Barton, hits.
Now we'll see if Sasha Francis can score. She's the only Blue Dragon that's been in the game that has not put the ball in the hoop yet.
Right, last opportunity. With 32 seconds left, shot clock at 22. Barton with it. Now left side, Cooper. Underneath to Francis, and there you go, Darren. Right on cue, Sasha Francis scores to make it 90-55. You kind of had the feeling that play was called just for that. So the shot clock dark with 18 seconds left. Here's Kelly Hunter, crosses with the left hand, throws up a wild shot, hangs on, no good. Betham the rebound, and then she throws the outlet away. 8.6 seconds left. And again, a very impressive victory, a 24-0 start. And Hutchinson led at 32-11 at halftime. Three-pointer, no good by Kelly Hunter. And their final score here in Great Bend at the Booster Club Classic. The number 7 ranked Blue Dragons 90, Jefferson College 55. The Blue Dragons improve to 6-0, while Jefferson falls to 4-2. We'll get the final numbers and wrap this one up. This is the Blue Dragons Sports Network. Steve Carpenter and Darren Dunn with you at the Barton Gym in Great Bend. A 90-55 Blue Dragon victory over Jefferson College to complete the Cougar Booster Club Classic 2-0. Again, winning this one 90-55. A season high 14 3-pointers. And a lot of numbers to tell you about. And with those numbers, here's Darren Dunn.
Well, of course, Jefferson College started out the game pretty cold, 0 for 6, and then started out the game 0 for 7 from beyond the arc. A team that came in averaging almost 41% from distance, only hit 1 3-pointer today, and finished the afternoon 6.7% from beyond the arc. The Vikings ended up with 14 turnovers. Tyra Brown, we expected her to do what she did, and she scored 17 points here this afternoon, only shot 6 of 18, but hit 5 for 6 from the free throw line. Pakova, 11 points for her, 8 points for Kelly Hunter, who did a good job kind of in her starting role today. The only problem for her would be the 4 for 15 shooting, so she gave herself some opportunities, had some good looks underneath, just didn't finish on nearly enough of them. For the Blue Dragons, 4 players ended up with at least 2 3-pointers, and 6 players hit at least 1. Abby Ogle, 20 points, had 7 assists. How about Brooklyn Betham? We mentioned she came in averaging a double-double. No double-doubles yet for her in her Blue Dragon career. Now she has 1. 11 points to go with 14 rebounds. Lauren Mapasua ends up with 5 points and 8 rebounds. 11 points and 7 rebounds for Tori Alford, and Kyra Paniora ends up with 14 points and 5 rebounds. One of those other players to knock down a couple of 3-pointers. Presley Barton went 2 for 4 today. So the Blue Dragons end up shooting just a touch under 50% from the floor. You've got to like that. End up at 43.8% from beyond the arc, and about where they've been all season from the free throw line, where they finished 57.1% to come away with this 90-55 victory.
Well, that's going to wrap it up from Great Bend for the women. Darren's going to stick around and join Glenn Grunwald as the Blue Dragon men get set to take on Iowa Western from the Cougar Booster Club Classic. That game coming up at 3 o'clock. Right now, I think everything's on time, so the stream will start about 2:52 p.m. For Darren Dunn and his great help today, Steve Carpenter from Great Bend, Kansas. The final score, the number 7 ranked Blue Dragons 90, Jefferson College 55. Dragons now 6-0 and will now play New Mexico Junior College next Thursday in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Stick around for Glenn and Darren. We will talk to you soon. Until then, so long, everybody.